Hello, in this Coolgrad video, we're going to talk about studying in the state of Arizona in the United States. Arizona is one of the nice warm southern states which is very close to California and the Mexican border. In fact, I myself went to a business school. I did my MBA in Arizona. And we're going to talk about what are the top universities in Arizona, the cost of living, the airports, the weather conditions, and all the nice things about Arizona. So this is where Arizona is located. Arizona is in the southwest part of the United States. So it's adjacent to California, and there's the Mexican border on the south. And of all the United States, it's over here, and it lies in the mountain time zone. So it's one of the states which doesn't get affected by daylight savings change. So every April and October they switch the clock, forward by 1 hour and then backward by another 1 hour. That's to conserve daylight, so they make maximum utilization of daylight. So a lot of time zones. So there's the Eastern time zone, Central time zone, Mountain time zone, and Pacific time zone. And other time zones they get affected, but Mountain it usually stays the way it is. And so Arizona is like 1 hour ahead of California in terms of like timing. So if it's in the Mountain time zone and there's no daylight saving change, so if it's like 6 p.m. in California, it'll be like 5 p.m. in Arizona. And when there is daylight savings change, then if it is 6 p.m. in California, it'll also be 6 p.m. in Arizona. So it's like it's in the mountain time zone, and it's a hot, humid desert, and it's got its own nice charm. So the state's bordering Arizona. So Arizona is located here, and on the left we have California, Nevada over here, Utah on the top, Colorado over there, and New Mexico on the right side, and in the south we have the country of Mexico. On the east we have New Mexico. So New Mexico is a state, just so you know, and New Mexico is where they have Albuquerque, and that's where all the first atomic bomb was developed and tested. It has the University of New Mexico over there. And in Arizona we have some of the top cities. Tucson over here, Phoenix, which is just 1 hour north of Tucson, and just so you know, Tucson is just about like 60 miles from the Mexican border. So sometimes it's like people drive to Mexico, and it's like you have to have a valid passport and like a visa and a passport to come back. But there's a problem of like illegal immigrants who come up here, and Phoenix is in fact it has a bad reputation as one of the places with a lot of like drug dealers who somehow sneak up there from Mexico, and it's known to have a considerably high crime rate. So, but when we lived there, it was pretty safe. Believe me, we never had such problems. A typical ordinary person usually doesn't get to deal with such people unless you're like looking for trouble or something. So there's also Tempe over here, Glendale. These are all some of the popular cities over here, and up here is the Grand Canyon, where there's the river and the huge Rocky Mountain formations, and Las Vegas is over here in Nevada, and from Nevada they go to Grand Canyon. There's the Hoover Dam, and then there's all this nice mountains, and the Colorado River, and at the bottom of these mountains, the huge Grand Canyon, that's over here. And there's also like Sedona, slightly north of Tucson, somewhere here, and in Sedona they have like hot air balloons, a desert. It's kind of a really nice place. So the average temperature of Arizona. So in summers it gets really hot. So in summer it goes beyond 100, between 100, sometimes it goes all the way up to 120. And I remember one time I was in Arizona doing my MBA, and our AC was not working for 5 days, and the temperature went up to almost 110 to 120 Fahrenheit, which is really, really hot. And we had no AC for like 5 days. We were really like boiled alive. It was really, really hot. and you can't manage without an AC in summer. And if your car is like parked outside for 1 hour in the afternoon, you can't get into it. Oh my God, it's like an oven that's at 350 Fahrenheit. You know, it's like, it'd be like an oven, you can't sit in it. And if you leave a baby in the car even for like, say, 5 minutes and you go to the store and come, the baby might die. It's like really, really hot. So, and the winters are also quite cold actually. So the winters are quite cold. And sometimes it goes up to like, 35 Fahrenheit. 32 degrees Fahrenheit is about 0 degrees Celsius. So there's no snowfall in Arizona. But then for 1 or 2 days, we see some kind of, like little bit of snowflakes, in the mountains and on the grass, and, we see a little bit of snow sometimes. So, like in Tucson, near that we have Mount Lennon. That's a hilly place. It's like a hill station. So on top of that, there's all this snow for about like 1 week in every year. They have snowfall there sometimes. So the climate of Arizona is mostly like desert climate. It's arid, hot, sandy, and no snowfall, but winters are cold. I mean, snowfall only like in the mountains you see a little bit of snow. You can manage with like sweaters. I mean, you don't have to really wear gloves and boots and, like winter clothes. You can manage with a pullover and some sweatpants. I mean, you can manage. It's not really that bad. Very hot during summers. So summers can go up to 120 Fahrenheit in June and July, and if your AC doesn't work, you can't survive pretty much. So it's comparable to some of the Indian summers like in Rajasthan or like in Allahabad. My dad used to work in Allahabad for quite a few years, and the summers were, horrible in India. Like, in the afternoons, there were all these stray dogs and pigs. They would just die in the heat. It's like horrible. It went up to almost 49, 50 degrees Celsius. And, you'd have sweat running down your body like that, and the winters were extreme. My dad hated to live there, but then he was working there. And then, Arizona is somewhat comparable to that. And there's mostly only cactus and palm trees. It's not really a feast for the eyes. So I lived there, and for like 2 years, all we saw was like cactus everywhere, huge cactus. And some of them have nice flowers, but there's not much greenery at all, and palm trees. And, I got sick of it actually, and there's no, beautiful, colorful flowering plants. Even in the apartments, they try to make it attractive to residents, and they only have some cactus and with some flowers in it. Only cactus everywhere and palm trees. And only, in some patches on the university we had like grass. So that was the only greenery we saw. And we actually got sick of it, and I got sick of it for 2 years. And when I came to California after I graduated for a job, Santa Clara was like heaven, heaven. So, I mean, Santa Clara was like heaven because it was so green and nice, and I saw all these flowers and, all these nice Indian restaurants and, the rich Indian community, and it was like heaven, heaven in comparison. But Arizona has a charm of its own, and for people who grew up there, they probably like to be there. And it does have an Indian community and a few Indian restaurants, and except for the hot summers, it's okay to be there. Cost of living is quite cheap. So it does rain heavily in ARM. So it's like rainy season between, like, say, August and September, October. It does rain heavily, very heavily. Sometimes the water would be like flowing on the streets, and it was like almost knee deep, and we had to wade our way across. And there was so much water, but then all the water would seep through the sand and, sink to the bottom. So the water wasn't getting like stored anywhere in like a reservoir. We never had water problem as such in Arizona because, in the United States they have a good system of water supply, and they would get water from other places where they had fresh water, and we never had like a problem for water or anything. I don't think any place in the United States has that problem. Even when it was like, drought in California, from the first 5 years there was drought in California, but we never had a problem of water shortage at home. 24/7 we get hot water, cold water, and we never had those problems, unlike in India. So just because it's a desert, don't think it's like, like the Sahara Desert or the Thar Desert in Rajasthan where, you have to go to the oasis to get water or something. No. I mean, we don't have such problems, but it does rain heavily too, but the rain just seeps down the sand. And snowbirds. So snowbirds are people who live in the north in snowy, cold places. the snowbirds, they come down to the south during winters. You know, if they don't like cold, snow, you know, blizzards. I've lived in Michigan and Boston and, you know, those places, and it can be really cold and horrible in the winters, and some people don't like it. It causes sad season sickness. They like to walk and run, and it's so slippery and cold outside. And those people, they come down to like places like Florida, Texas, Arizona. They usually have like a spare home, a winter home, which they keep locked in the summers, and then in the winters they just come and live there for a few months. And some of them, they just rent a house and live there in Arizona for a few months, and then they go back up. A lot of retired people mostly who grew up in the United States. So they're called snowbirds. And in Arizona, like in Tucson and Phoenix, you'll see snowbirds, thousands of people coming here during the winters to avoid snow. So snowbirds are not birds, but people who don't like the snow, and they come down south to avoid snow. Arizona state facts. Arizona is the home of the Grand Canyon National Park. Located in Fountain Hills is a fountain believed to be the tallest in the world. So it's got one of the tallest fountains in the world. Four Corners is noticed as the spot in the United States where a person can stand in 4 states at the same time. So if you look at the map of Arizona, let's take a look at that. Let's go back there and take a look. So if you look at the spot on the northeast corner of Arizona, if you stand in that spot, you'll have Utah in one place, and Arizona here, and Colorado, and New Mexico. So you see 4 states in that corner, so that's what they mean. And the 2 largest man-made lakes in the U.S. are Lake Mead and Lake Powell, both located in Arizona. They are man-made lakes. Phoenix is just 60 miles away from the Mexican border. And Arizona is one of the only 2 states that does not observe daylight savings time. So as I mentioned earlier, it lies in the mountain time zone and doesn't have daylight savings. Top cities in Arizona: Phoenix, Tucson, and Tempe. So Phoenix. So Phoenix has an area of about 520 square miles, or about 1,300 square kilometers. Population approximately 1.4 million as of the year 2016. Phoenix is the 6th most populous city in the United States. So the density of people living there. Even though it is the 6th most populated city, the large area gives it a low density rate of approximately 2,797 people per square mile. So places to visit: Desert Botanical Gardens, Phoenix Zoo. The city is small but vibrant historic quarter, the Heritage Square. So there's Botanical Gardens, Phoenix Zoo. Interesting facts: it had dust storms that caused a lot of damage. So a few years back, you know, there were huge dust storms in Phoenix, which caused people a lot of damage of property and health problems. And, you know, it's known to be quite dusty and has dust storms quite often. It's sandy, arid, dry, hot. Tucson. So I actually lived in Tucson for a few semesters, and I did my MBA from the University of Arizona in Tucson. Tucson, the size is about 195 square miles, 505 square kilometers. Population approximately 540,000 as of year 2016. Interesting facts: Tucson is a popular vacation and health resort due to its sunny, mild, dry climate and unique desert location. Tourism is important to the city's economy. Major industries include aerospace and missile production, high technology, optics, biotechnology, environmental technology, software, and electronics. So it hosts Raytheon. You know, Raytheon is one of the biggest defense companies of the United States, where they manufacture missiles, and it's located in Raytheon is located in Tucson. They have an office there, and in fact, one of our adjunct professors, she would teach us project management in our MBA program, and she was actually working at Raytheon full time, and she would teach us. She would visit our university as a visiting professor and teach us project management. So there's a lot of high-tech industries, there's biotechnology industries, and there's companies like medical devices companies like Ventana Medical Systems. There's a few other companies there, which you know, there's electronics companies. There are a few companies, not too many. So Tucson is also the commercial center for the surrounding areas, agricultural and mining industries. City is the home of the University of Arizona. So Tucson is one of the 12th, it's like the 12th biggest city in the United States. But it's mostly like desert and sparsely populated. And the main thing in Tucson is like they have the Raytheon missile factory, they have the University of Arizona, and they have a few companies to work for. That's it. Tempe. So Tempe is about 40 square miles in size. Population approximately 180,000 as of year 2016. Interesting facts. Located in the Maricopa County, South Arizona, in the Salt River Valley. It's a suburb of Phoenix. It's very close to Phoenix. Its population has grown markedly since the 1970s with the expansion of Greater Phoenix area. Tempe is a health resort and an agricultural center with lands irrigated by the Salt River project. So the Salt River is a nice little river. It's not too deep, a few meters deep, and in fact, when I first landed in Arizona, they had a trip to the Salt River, and it's like picnic spot, and also it's used to irrigate the land around Tempe, and it's a health resort. And manufacturers include machinery, electrical and communications equipment, glass, rubber, paper, plastics, apparel, chemicals, and tools. The city is the seat of the Arizona State University. So ASU, Arizona State University, is located in Tempe. Several Major League baseball teams have spring training camps in the area. Native American ruins are nearby. Across the Salt River is the Papago Park. Airports in Arizona. Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, PHX is the code. It's located in Phoenix. Tucson International Airport, TUS, is in Tucson. Scottsdale Airport, SCG, is in Scottsdale. Loughlin Bullhead International Airport, KIFP, is in Bullhead City. So these are some of the top airports. So if you're going to study in the Arizona State University, you would go to Phoenix Airport, okay? Or Tucson, from Tucson it's about like 60 miles, like 1 hour by bus. So Tucson has an international airport too. So when I studied in Tucson, I would fly from Tucson, and if I had to visit India, there is no like direct flight from Tucson to, say, Europe or most other countries which act as an intermediary to India. So from Tucson, I would usually go to like Atlanta, 3 hours flight, and from Atlanta, I would go to either Frankfurt or Paris or Amsterdam or maybe to Dubai or Abu Dhabi, depending on which airlines you take. So from Atlanta, I would go to another spot, and from there to like Bangalore, from where my parents used to live. So yeah, I mean, it's like say from Phoenix they might have flights which have just one hop, like I'm guessing. So from Phoenix you might be able to go directly to like Europe, and then one hop you'll be in India. But from Tucson, at least as of the year 2011 when I was there last, I had to go to like Atlanta or to like San Francisco, and from there I had to take another flight. So there was no like one hop flight directly from Tucson to India. Well, the top universities in Arizona. So there's the Arizona State University, known as ASU in Tempe, University of Arizona in Tucson, Grand Canyon University, and the Thunderbird School of Global Management. So Tier 2 universities in Arizona, University of Phoenix, Northern Arizona University, Midwestern University. So Arizona State University, this is the logo of the university. It was founded in 1885, and it is one of the most reputed universities in the southern part of the US. And a lot of students go there to study in the business school and engineering departments, computer science, and it's even the law school, med school, they're actually quite famous. I mean, it's not ranked as high as like Harvard or MIT and or Stanford, but among the mid-ranked universities, like usually ranked between like say 30 to 50, 30 to 60, Arizona State University is one of the popular destinations. And even for people who want to do an MBA, if they don't want to pay like $100,000 from their pocket, if ASU gives them like complete scholarship, they would actually prefer to go to that kind of a university. They do get good jobs even after graduating from here. And it's actually very competitive to get into ASU too. So, history of ASU, Arizona State University. Arizona State University was established as the territorial normal school at Tempe in 1885. Arizona State University is called ASU, or Arizona State, is a public flagship metropolitan research university located on 5 campuses across the Phoenix, Arizona metropolitan area and 4 regional centers throughout Arizona. The 2016 university rankings by US News rank ASU number 1 among the most innovative schools in America. It has about 67,500 undergrad students and about 15,700 postgrad students, like, masters and PhD students. And totally, the student number of students in ASU is about double the number of students in the University of Arizona. They're about twice as big. And the University of Arizona and ASU were always competing with each other. And so the rankings of ASU. Business school is ranked top 67 in the United States. It's actually quite famous. MIS is ranked number 1. So I've got different rankings and reports. It's usually in the top 5. So some reports say top 1, some say top 2. It keeps fluctuating. So it's usually in the top 5. Computer science is ranked top 35. It's actually very famous for computer science. Electrical engineering is ranked top 53. Chemical engineering top 67. Civil engineering top 40, which is actually quite high. And mechanical engineering is top 56 in the United States. So Arizona State University, so this is what the business school looks like. This is the building, and it's quite competitive to get in there. And after graduating from ASU Business School with an MBA, people get jobs, usually in Deloitte or IBM or PwC, top 4 companies, or they have a lot of campus recruitments. They also go to neighboring California, Bay Area, Southern California. From Phoenix to LA, it's just like a 6-hour drive or maybe a 5-hour drive. So they usually drive up there and find jobs there, and also in the Bay Area, or they go to New York. And some people even continue to work in Phoenix. So for example, there's American Express. It's a very big company there in Phoenix, and some of the people who graduated from ASU and also the University of Arizona, they started working for American Express. In fact, in those days, an Indian company, Cognizant, was implementing a very large project in American Express, and they hired a lot of students from our university through networks and contacts, and a lot of my friends were working in Phoenix. So, Arizona State University, this is the engineering department. It's a beautiful campus. You see a lot of palm trees. So if you're in Arizona, you only see palm trees. You don't expect to see a lot of other green trees or vegetarian or flowering trees. So this is the computer science department. Looks like a nice, beautiful building too. And then this is the mechanical engineering department, and it's also ranked quite high, and it's a popular destination for mechanical engineering students. And this is the medical school. So the medical school is quite popular, and it's very tough to get in there. They have a very low acceptance rate, and they're not very famous for giving scholarships. So there are some medical schools, like for example in Cleveland, there's a certain medical school. Like one of my friend's sons, he got in there, and he got, in Cleveland, complete scholarship for his MD medical school, say $250,000 worth of scholarship, and there's no catch. It's paid forward. If you want, you can pay to other people or no. So some universities, they get a lot of donations, and they offer a lot of interesting scholarships. Dr. Ben Carson at Johns Hopkins, he had instituted a scholarship for a lot of poor students. And some universities offer scholarships and some don't. And Arizona, both the University of Arizona and ASU, they're not really famous for giving too many scholarships. So at least I know that in the University of Arizona Med School, there is pretty much no scholarship. And ASU is not very famous for giving scholarships to medical students either. So you'll have to take a loan and pay it, and then repay your loans. ASU, the Mayo Medical School. So in 2011, ASU launched a collaboration with the Mayo Clinic to establish a medical school in Arizona and moved some academic departments onto the Mayo Clinic campus in Scottsdale. Mayo Medical and ASU have created an undergraduate Barrett Mayo Pre-Medical Scholars Program offered through ASU's Barrett, the Honors College. It ranks in the top 25 for best medical schools in the research category. ASU Mayo Medical School began enrolling its first students in 2014. Unique MD degrees, believed to be the first in the nation, will be granted under the governance and oversight of Mayo Medical School and ASU with a specialized master's degree in the science of healthcare management. So, it's a kind of recently established collaborative effort, and so this is the law school building. Looks like a beautiful building, the ASU Law School, and it offers a JD program and also LLM program. So the JD program is quite famous, so it's also quite expensive, and there's a lot of good prospects for lawyers after graduating from ASU. It's quite tough to get in there. Average cost of living in Phoenix. So monthly rent in Phoenix as of year 2016 for a furnished studio accommodation is about $750 to $900 per month. Furnished 1-bed 1-bath apartment is about $900 to $1,100. Furnished 2-bed 2-bath apartment is about $1,100 to $1,400. And utilities per month would be like including heating, electricity, gas, and in summers you need AC. You can't do without an AC. Winters you have to have heating. For about 2 people in a 900 square feet flat is approximately like $174 per month. It ranges anywhere from $150 to $200. You can expect to pay that much in like utilities. So places to visit near ASU. There's hot air balloons in Sedona. It's really nice. You pay about like $100-200, I guess $200, and they fly you around. You go there like early in the morning at dawn, and you climb on the hot air balloon, and it floats around, and you see all the nice scenery below, and then they land. It's like really nice. I did that in Napa Valley. I took my mother in the hot air balloon in Napa Valley, in Northern California. They have these hot air balloons. It's a nice experience. It's not like really fast and exciting, but it's slow and serene and calm and beautiful, and it's really nice. Mill Avenue District, and then there's a Tempe Beach Park, and then Sea Life Aquarium, and there's Arizona Mills, Hidden but Preserve, Big Surf Water Park. So there's a few attractions near ASU in Phoenix. Indian restaurants near Arizona State University. So we have Udupi Cafe. We have in Tempe, there's the Delhi Palace Cuisine of India, Nandini Indian Cuisine. So Star of India, Chutneys, Kebab Palace. So there's quite a few Indian restaurants near ASU. Arizona State University, some of the famous alumni. So we have Steve Allen, who's a writer, comedian, and musician. Jimmy Kimmel, actor, comedian, and TV host. Robert Bigelow, hotel and aerospace entrepreneur. Amanda Brown, author of like Legally Blonde. Dustin Lee Abraham, screenwriter and producer for CSI Crime Scene Investigation. David Spade, comedian and actor. So now let's talk about the University of Arizona, which happens to be my alma mater. It's where I did my MBA. And so the history of the University of Arizona. The University of Arizona, known as the U of A, or UA, or just Arizona. So it's a public research university located in Tucson, in Arizona. Founded in 1885, UA was the first university in Arizona Territory. So the U of A offers 334 fields of study, leading to bachelor's, master's, doctoral, and professional degrees. The main campus sits on 380 acres, or 1.5 square kilometers in central Tucson. It's quite a big campus, about 1.6 kilometers northeast of downtown. There are 179 buildings on like the main campus, big and small buildings. And so it has about 31,670 undergrads and about 7,400 grad students as of 2016. So that's, let's say, totally about 40,000 students. It's still only half of what ASU has. And the University of Arizona and ASU are always like at competition with each other, and we used to go to these tailgate parties, and they'd say bear down Arizona, bear down, red and blue, and they'd say kick the shit out of ASU. They'd say things like that, and they're always like trying to compete. It was very funny. And so the University of Arizona departments and rankings. So the business school is ranked top 68 in the United States. MIS is ranked like top 17. in the United States. The MIS program is actually very popular, and in the year like 2010, 2011, it was ranked like top 5 in the United States. The rankings keep changing, fluctuating every year. So it can rank anywhere from, say, top 5 to top 15. I mean, it keeps like fluctuating. And this was the latest ranking that they had. Computer science, the MIS program is very, very popular, hugely popular. A lot of Indian students go to the University of Arizona for MIS. And computer science department is ranked 51. I mean, at one point of time, it was like in the top 30. So, these ranks keep changing year to year. I wouldn't go, hard and fast by these. But the computer science department is also a very popular destination for Indian students. I mean, those who don't get into like the top 10 or top 15 universities like, Harvard or Cornell or Princeton or, MIT or Stanford. I mean, those who want to go to slightly lower ranked university, they think about the University of Arizona as one of the top choices. ASU and University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, and, University of Arizona and, University of Portland. These are like some of the top destinations. And a lot of students who graduate from computer science, they get good internships and good jobs after that. Electrical engineering is ranked lower than 100. Chemical engineering is ranked top 73. Civil engineering is ranked top 43 in the United States. Mechanical engineering is top 32. So mechanical engineering is also very difficult to get into, and it's very popular. So this is what the University of Arizona campus looks like. A lot of huge red brick buildings. They're very popular, surrounded by hills. It's really nice. And this is the Eller School of Business. This is where I did my MBA. And so they had all these, the faculty, offices were on the topmost floor, and the classrooms were on the bottommost floor usually. And they had the labs up here, and they had some faculty members up here too. So, and they had a huge, like a theater over there inside where they would have talks and stuff. A lot of lounges, labs where people could sit and work together. It's a very, really nice place. So this is actually the back of the building. So the front is on the other side. So, I mean, we would go down here, and here is where all the classrooms were in here. So this is one view of this building. And so Eller, it used to be ranked between top 40 and 45 in those days. I mean, I went to the University of Arizona for my MBA mainly because I got a complete scholarship and graduate teaching assistantship. So for my entire MBA, I paid only like about $500. And of course, I had to pay for my air ticket and textbooks and living expenses. But I mean, I could have gone probably to like, I could have gone to Wharton or Harvard. I had a 760 or 800 in GMAT. And the average GMAT score at the University of Arizona was only like 635 in those days. And I went there mainly because they gave me a complete scholarship. And, that was an important factor for me. So I went there and I graduated. And, but then, it was slightly difficult to get jobs after that because a lot of companies are not ready to sponsor H-1 visas. They're ready to give you a job if you're a green card holder or a citizen. You can get a lot of jobs. But I would go to career fairs, and even though I was one of the toppers in my university, they're like, the moment they look at me, they see I'm Indian, and they're like, do you have a visa? Are you authorized to work? And I said, no, I need visa sponsorship. And then they would just immediately reject. So it was, it made me sad. But after that, I moved to California, and I was in consulting for a while, and then I got a job. I managed to establish myself in the software industry and, carve a niche for myself. But I'm saying if I had my life to live over again, I would probably go to a top university like Wharton. It's worth it because Wharton, Harvard, Stanford, it's worth it. Even if it costs $100,000 because, you can repay your loans in a few years. You get a networking opportunity with a lot of entrepreneurs. And there are also universities ranked higher, like say, there's Kelly, Indiana University. They're known to give some scholarships too. Even if you get 50%, 75% scholarship, you could still take it, it's worth it. Or like Rice University or Purdue, they're known to give scholarships to MBA students too. I mean, like Wharton and Harvard, they don't usually give too many scholarships, but you can go to universities ranked higher. If you do an MBA, remember, you have to do it from a top school. Because it's mainly for the networking opportunity. It's not about the quality of teaching or the degree. It's about the networking, the contacts you make. So, but it was a nice place, and I spent 2 of the happiest years of my life in this university. So the University of Arizona Engineering Department, so they have multiple buildings. So the Civil and Chemical Engineering departments are housed in this building, and then University of Arizona Mechanical Engineering Department, so it's something like this. This is also quite popular and is a big department. So this is a medical school, so it's actually very famous, and I happen to know some faculty members who were working at this university, and but it's not like really expensive. It's in the lower 1/3 in terms of cost, and it's ranked quite high, and it's quite difficult to get in there. They have a low acceptance rate, but my point is they're not known to give too many scholarships, so you'll have to pay for it yourself. And then when I was an MBA student, I would get permission from the medical school, and I had made friends with some of the surgeons, and I love watching surgeries. It's it's a passion, and they would give me permission to watch surgeries in the operation theater. So because I was a student at the university, so I had to sign some forms, and I had to get some immunizations, and I would go stand there in the operation theater, and I would be watching surgeries, all kinds of surgeries, like heart surgery, lung surgery, and so many transplants, and abdominal surgeries, and orthopedic surgeries. I'd be watching surgeries all the time. And those days I was a poor grad student, and I didn't even have a car. And if I had a car, I would go probably like every day. Like after I graduated, for about 2 months I was just sitting there waiting for my OPT card, and I didn't even have an OPT card. So I had nothing to do, and if I had a car, I would go watch surgeries every day. So I had to take a cab, I would have to get a ride, so I would go there once in a while and observe surgeries all the time. If you're a student and your university has a med school, you could probably shadow a surgeon for a few days or something. It can be very interesting, and it's worth the experience. And we had students who were doing dual degree programs too in the University of Arizona. There were a few students who were doing their MD and also getting an MBA at the same time, and there were people from the law school getting a JD MBA dual degree. So that's also an option, and it's very interesting. So this is the law school of the University of Arizona, and average cost of living in Tucson. So as of the year 2016, for like a furnished studio, about 900 square feet in size, you'd pay about $500 to $600 per month. One bed, one bath furnished apartment is about $750 to $900 per month, and a 2-bed, 2-bath furnished apartment is about $900 to $1,200 per month. So in those days when I was living there, we had a 2-bed, 1-bath apartment. We used to pay about $700 per month, and I had a roommate, so I would pay about $350, and she would pay $350, and it was very comfortable, but we had to share the bathroom. It was still okay. And furnished 2-bed, 2-bath apartment is about $900 to $1,200. So you still have a room and bathroom for yourself. So utilities for 2 people would be approximately between $150 to $200 a month, or sometimes even less than that. Places to visit near University of Arizona. So there's the Arizona Sonora Desert Museum, Sabino Canyon, Kids Peak Observatory, Pima Air and Space Museum, Mount Lemmon Scenic Byway. So Mount Lemmon is like a mountain where there's a lot of hiking trails and a lot of interesting things there, and they get a little bit of snow in the winters. The Reed Park Zoo, the Madera Canyon. So there are a few interesting spots here and there in near Tucson and Phoenix. So the Kids Peak Observatory is very famous. It's one of the world famous observatories. So they have all these huge telescopes, and using which they have like stargazing in the night, and they have shows in the night where you go sit there and watch all these stars and constellations, all these stuff, and it's supposed to be like really, really famous. So Indian restaurants near the University of Arizona in Tucson. So they don't have too many restaurants, but a few of them. So there's the Govinda's Islam restaurant. So that's probably one of the very few vegetarian restaurants out there. And when I was studying there, we would go there every Tuesday they used to have like a Indian night. They serve food which is blended to American taste too. And on Tuesdays they would have Indian spicy food, and in the evenings we would go there, and around 9 o'clock all the leftovers they would give away at a very low price, and we would take a cab and share a ride, and we would go there. Yeah, I have fond memories of that. And then Gandhi Cuisine of India, New Delhi Palace, Amrita Cuisine. So there are quite a few restaurants. and there are a few grocery stores, Indian grocery stores, and you get pretty much all the groceries you need. I mean, in those days when I was there, we wouldn't get like, dosa batter or idli batter, to make dosas with, in the Indian stores. But in California and, New York and, a lot of other places, you get like ready-made dosa batter, which lasts a few days, and you can just bring it home. But in those days, we would not get that. And now I don't know, maybe they do sell it. But we get pretty much everything else. And University of Arizona, the famous alumni. So there's Rick Hoffman, who's an actor, Kourtney Kardashian, a television personality, and Brian Schmidt, a physicist awarded with 2011 Nobel Prize in Physics, Paul Werle, a pediatrician who helped develop vaccines for polio and smallpox, and Agha Shahid Ali, who is a poet. So that was about the University of Arizona, and this is another university called the Grand Canyon University, established in 1949. It's not usually in the top 100, but some Indian students do go there. I mean, because it does offer a reasonably good quality of education at a low cost of tuition. So this is the Grand Canyon University. That's what it looks like, and it's no way as big as University of Arizona or the ASU, but it is a popular destination for students who want quality education at a low cost. So the Grand Canyon University is a for-profit Christian research university in Phoenix, Arizona in the United States. Founded in 1949 as a non-profit liberal and college, the university was purchased by Grand Canyon Education Incorporated in February 2004. Regionally accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, the university offers undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral degree programs in education, liberal arts, business, science, through its 8 colleges. So in 2009, Grand Canyon University's campus includes a 500-bed dormitory, 55,000 square foot fitness and recreation center, and there's 125 classroom facility, food court and bowling alley, and a 5,000-seat arena. It is a big campus, and most of the departments are ranked lower than 100 in the US. So this is the computer science department of the Grand Canyon University. This is the electrical department. This is the business school, and this is the civil engineering department. And places to visit near Grand Canyon include Heard Museum, Phoenix Art Museum, Encanto Park, castles and coasters. Indian restaurants near Grand Canyon include Bombay Grill, Hari for Curry, India Palace, Angara Indian Spice Grill, and cost of living near Grand Canyon University is about, for a studio, $760 to $1,000 a month. 1-bed, 1-bath apartment is about $700 to $900 a month, and 2-bed, 2-bath apartment is about $720 to $1,200 a month as of the year 2016. Famous alumni of this university: Henry Cejudo, who is a freestyle wrestler, 2008 Olympic gold medalist; Anthony Burchak, mixed martial artist; Efrain Escudero, who is an All-American wrestler; Bayard Forrest, who is a professional basketball player. So I see it produces a lot of top-notch sports stars. So the Thunderbird School of Global Management, which is a popular destination for people who want to learn international business management. So Thunderbird School of Global Management in Arizona State University, or simply known as Thunderbird, is a management school located in the United States, part of ASU. And the main campus is located in Glendale, Arizona, at Thunderbird Field Number 1, a former military airfield from which it derives the name. Thunderbird School of Global Management was founded in 1946 as the American Institute of Foreign Trade. The school was founded by Lieutenant General Barton Kyle Yount in Glendale, Arizona, on the former World War II military airfield Thunderbird Field Number 1. So for executive management, it's ranked top 3 in the US. For finance, number 16, and for management, it's like number 9. So if you want to learn international management, Thunderbird is actually a very popular destination. There's people all over the world who come there to learn about global management, cross-country collaborations and stuff like that. It has a very good reputation, and it's Not to give too many scholarships, I guess, but it might be worth paying for it because the job prospects are quite good. And this is the School of Management, the School of Finance, and places to visit near Thunderbird. It's very close to Phoenix. We've already been through some of these. So there's like the Arizona Scenic Tours, day tours. There's the hot air balloon rides in Sedona, and there's hot air expeditions. There's the Peoria Sports Complex. Quite a few things to do there. And Indian restaurants near Thunderbird. We have Delhi Palace, and we have Kohinoor, Curry Corner, Bombay Spice Grill, the Dhaba. We have quite a few Indian restaurants. And cost of living in Thunderbird. Monthly rent in Glendale as of year 2016 for a furnished studio is $560 to $800 per month as of year 2016. So remember that it appreciates every year. And one bed, one bath apartment is $600 to $900 per month. Two bed, two bath apartment is $770 to about $1,200 per month. So some famous alumni of Thunderbird include Sundar Kima Trey, Executive Vice President, 20th Century Fox, Jack Stepiero, President of Emerging Markets, Javier Perez, President of MasterCard Europe, Takaki Tanaka, who is the CEO of Toshiba China. So there's next the University of Phoenix. So this is usually may not be in the top 100, but it is a popular destination, especially for people who are local to the area. Northern Arizona University. So this is again a university which is usually not in the top 100 at all, but it's located in Flagstaff, and for people who grew up there, they usually take a few courses in this university, and some Indian students also do go there. I mean, who couldn't probably get in like the top 70, 80 schools? They might go there just because of the low cost of tuition and cost of living. Midwestern University, located in Glendale. This is again not in the top 100, but it does exist, and I just want you to know about it. So this brings us to the end of this video about studying in Arizona. So I hope you got an idea of what the weather is like in Arizona, and the cost of living, and the universities, the various programs, the scholarships, the famous alumni, the Indian restaurants, the kind of programs offered there, and what it's like to study in Arizona. And if you're looking for a low-cost place to study in, Arizona is probably a good option. But be prepared to face the heat in the summers and the desert and the cactus. And it's not as green as, like, say, Atlanta or North Carolina. I'm saying if you want, like, greenery and nice weather, at the same cost, you might probably want to think about, like, say, some places in Texas or Atlanta or North Carolina, South Carolina. But Arizona is a good choice, too. So, thank you.